A flash changes colour among the rocks of the reef. Nothing is what it seems. The octopus. Camouflage, intelligence, master of deception. It blends into its environment, watches. Waits for the slightest moment of inattention. Tentacles lightning fast. A precise strike. A silent capture. Beyond the reef, another silhouette moves forward calmly. The green sea turtle. Endurance, longevity, a constant journey. It swims without hurry, trusting in its shell. In the ocean, survival means adapting or disappearing in silence. Welcome to Mysteries of the Ocean, the giants that dominate the sea. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to encourage us to keep creating higher quality content. And in your opinion, what should we do to protect this beautiful green planet? Leave your comment below and let's discuss it together. Let's begin. Shallow waters play a vital role in the fight against climate change. Seagrass meadows can absorb up to 35 times more carbon dioxide than the same area of tropical rainforest, trapping it beneath the seabed for centuries. This helps slow ocean warming and stabilize coastal ecosystems. These underwater carpets also calm the waves and trap sediment, creating crystal clear, sun-drenched waters where life can thrive. A green sea turtle glides slowly over the meadow, nibbling on tender blades of grass. By feeding, it keeps the meadow healthy, preventing overgrowth and encouraging new shoots. Among the waving blades, juvenile fish, crabs and seahorses find refuge from predators, growing large enough to survive in the vast ocean. Along the coastline, mangroves form a living barrier between the land and the sea. These incredible trees thrive in saline and changing conditions where few plants could survive. Their intricate roots weaken waves and storms, protecting the coast from erosion. Beneath the surface, this labyrinth creates a safe nursery for fish, shrimp, and mollusks. A small snapper moves carefully among the roots, while in nearby deep waters, a young sea lion glides, learning to hunt for the first time. These protected shallow waters serve as natural training grounds, where future hunters develop the skills necessary for survival. Without mangroves, many coastal fish populations and large marine animals would never reach adulthood. Finally, these young fish leave the shelter of the mangroves and head toward one of the most extraordinary ecosystems on Earth, the coral reef. Reefs occupy less than 1% of the ocean floor, but they support nearly a quarter of all marine species. Built by billions of tiny coral polyps over millennia, they form vast underwater cities full of hiding places. Vibrantly colored reef fish scurry among the coral branches. Cleaner wrasses establish service stations where larger animals stop to be deparasited. A green sea turtle returns to feed and rest among the reef structures. On the outer edge, a sea lion streaks through the water, chasing a school of fish. A reminder that the reef's abundance sustains even the ocean's most powerful hunters. Each inhabitant plays a role in maintaining this fragile balance. Herbivores, like the parrotfish, prevent algae from smothering the coral, while sea turtles help keep seagrass meadows healthy. Predators, like sea lions, regulate fish populations, ensuring stability throughout the ecosystem. Seagrass meadows, mangroves, and coral reefs form an interconnected system. Here, life begins among the protected roots and continues in the radiant coral reef. Although these coastal waters only represent a small fraction of the ocean, they maintain extraordinary biodiversity and help protect the stability of the entire planet. Sadly, today, very few coral reefs remain as pristine as before, and in most, a crucial member of the community is missing: the shark. Relentless overfishing has reduced shark populations worldwide by more than 90%. Today, they only thrive in numbers similar to those of the past on the most remote reefs. French Polynesia, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Here at least, sharks are fully protected. During the day, grey reef sharks hang suspended in the current. They allow small wrasses to clean their teeth to be ready for the night hunt that awaits them. These sharks prefer to hunt in the dark, when their sharp senses give them an advantage over their prey. Night falls. It is the time when small fish seek refuge in the nooks and crannies of the reef, out of reach of the grey shark. Sharks can detect the slightest movement. Leaving the shelter is dangerous. Stay still and the sharks may not detect you. A small fish can outmaneuver an individual shark, but with so many hunters, the chances of escape are minimal. Sheltering among the coral branches is usually the safest option. But the appearance of a second hunter changes everything. The white-tip reef shark. Slenderer and more agile, the white-tip can enter hiding places where other hunters cannot reach. Prey that are not captured by the white-tip are driven outward, where the grey shark waits. With both types of sharks cooperating in the hunt, there is little rest, even within the reef. More and more sharks arrive, attracted by the commotion. Shark populations like this used to be common on reefs around the world. And although it may seem that so many predators would cause harm, in reality, sharks help maintain the health of the reef. They help balance the fish community by hunting predators that eat small herbivorous fish. But today, even the healthiest reefs face an unprecedented threat. As climate change intensifies, ocean temperature is rising faster than at any other time in recorded history. Since the late 19th century, the average sea surface temperature has increased by approximately 1 degree Celsius, and marine heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense. This small increment brings devastating consequences. Microscopic algae called zooxanthellae live in the coral tissue and provide up to 90% of its energy through photosynthesis, as well as giving it its vibrant colors. But when the temperature rises just 1 or 2 degrees above normal for several weeks, the coral expels these vital collaborators as a stress response. Without them, the coral loses both its color and its primary source of nutrition. What remains is a white and pale skeletal structure, a phenomenon known as coral bleaching. On Australia's Great Barrier Reef, the largest reef system on Earth, which stretches for more than 2,300 kilometers, repeated marine heat waves have caused mass bleaching events. Long-term monitoring by the Australian Institute of Marine Science shows that during the extreme heat waves of 2016 and 2017, more than 1,000 kilometers of reef suffered severe bleaching. In the hardest-hit northern regions, more than 50% of shallow water coral died in a matter of months. What appears to possess a ghostly beauty is, in reality, a reef starving to death. If temperatures quickly return to normal, some corals may recover. But prolonged high temperatures can transform entire reef systems into lifeless structures. At the same time, rising carbon dioxide levels are altering ocean chemistry. The ocean absorbs nearly 30% of human-generated carbon dioxide, which makes the water more acidic. This reduces the availability of carbonate ions, the essential building blocks that corals use to form their skeletons. Scientific studies show that the coral growth rate in some regions has fallen by more than 15%. This slow growth weakens the reef structure and reduces its capacity to recover from storms, diseases, and bleaching events. According to a 2025 report from NOAA and the Global Coral Reef Monitoring Network, more than 84% of the world's reefs were exposed to bleaching level heat between 2023 and 2025. Researchers found that when ocean temperature remains 1.5 degrees above average for more than 8 weeks, the coral mortality rate can exceed 70%. The same report warns that without a drastic reduction in global emissions, many reefs could totally lose their capacity for recovery before 2050. However, reefs located in well-managed marine protected areas show survival rates up to 30% higher, proving that conservation efforts can significantly improve resilience. The loss of coral affects much more than just the coral itself. Reefs support approximately 25% of all marine life, including reef fish, turtles, sharks, and countless invertebrates. When coral dies, entire communities lose their shelter and food. Fish populations decline, predators disappear, and the complex architecture of the reef begins to erode. Globally, scientists estimate that nearly half of the world's shallow water coral reefs have been lost or severely degraded. If current warming trends continue, most remaining reefs could disappear in a few decades. However, in some protected waters, signs of recovery still persist. Some coral species show a higher tolerance to heat, and reefs that do not suffer from pollution or overfishing recover faster. These survivors provide a fragile hope. The future of reefs now depends not only on their own capacity for adaptation, but on human will to protect the ocean. Without living coral, one of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth could vanish in the course of a single generation. Far from the tropics, at higher latitudes, the seas are much colder. Storm-lashed waters bring essential nutrients to the surface. These nutrient-rich currents, combined with the long days of summer, turn these regions into the most productive seas on the planet. Sea lions thrive and even find time to ride the waves. It is spring off the coast of California, and the golden kelp canopies floating on the surface suggest the hidden treasures beneath. A magnificent forest under the sea. These vast giant kelp forests are as important for the ocean as trees are for the dry land. Like a tropical rainforest, the dense canopy provides food and shelter for a lush community. In the cool, rich seas, giant kelp can reach 50 meters in height. Small gas-filled spheres lift the fronds toward the sun-drenched surface. Inhabiting this canopy is the sea otter. Its thick fur keeps it warm in the freezing waters. Blowing air into its fur provides additional insulation. Sea otters have the densest fur in the animal kingdom, and such a splendid coat requires a lot of care. They need to eat large quantities to maintain heat, consuming up to a quarter of their body weight each day. Sea urchins are their favorite food. Here is one, and a second. And then the otter runs out of breath and must return to the surface. An urchin may seem like a rather prickly meal, but if you manage to break the shell, there is a feast inside. Sea otters play a fundamental role in the health of the kelp forest by keeping the urchin population in check. Urchins gnaw at the kelp, chewing through the tough stalks. If left unchecked, they would spread across the seabed like a plague. Fortunately, the otter has an ally in the fight against these prickly herbivores, the sheephead wrasser. They have powerful jaws and can quickly dispatch smaller purple urchins. Larger black urchins are a greater challenge, especially for smaller wrassers. Only the largest specimens can face them. But even so, they must overcome those long spines. The urchin must be flipped to expose its vulnerable underside. It is not easy when you have no hands. Finally, it succeeds, and everyone benefits. These fish and otters, living in marine protected areas, keep the kelp eaters under control. But just outside these sanctuaries, urchins graze unchecked and cut down entire kelp forests. All species that depend on the kelp disappear. In California, kelp forests grow in abundance within reserves, where the entire marine community can coexist without human pressure. Here, at least, the sea otter can relax California style. 3,000 kilometers to the north. In Alaska, spring arrives much later in the year. After a cold and harsh winter, the first rays of sun trigger a great annual event. Colossal schools of herring emerge from the depths and move toward shallower waters. They gather to reproduce, but predators are waiting for them. Stellar sea lions. Being so focused on their task, the herring become easy prey. The sea lions herd the school toward the surface, within reach of the aerial hunters. Bald eagles, normally solitary birds, have gathered in great numbers for the feast. In some places, the herring reach the shore, and there the eagles do not even need to fly. Humpback whales. They have traveled a long way from the tropics, hoping to get their first meal in months. These whales have an incredible way of harvesting this seasonal bounty. They work in a group. The lead whale dives first and blows a curtain of bubbles to concentrate the school of fish. A call synchronizes the attack. By cooperating in this way, each whale can ingest a ton of fish a day. However, there are so many herring that despite the whale's pursuit, most manage to reach the shallow waters. And here they deposit their eggs. The females spawn on the seagrass. The males follow them, fertilizing the eggs with clouds of sperm. There was a time when herring thrived here in an abundance that today we can hardly imagine. They used to tint the coasts white with their eggs, stretching across the North Pacific from Japan to California. When the giant schools of herring finish spawning and disperse through the vast ocean, they leave behind much more than fertilized eggs. They leave a pulse of life that feeds countless predators. Along the cold and windy cliffs of Alaska, another hunter waits for its moment. High above the water, thousands of puffins crowd the narrow ledges carved into the rock. At barely 30 centimeters long and weighing less than half a kilo, they seem fragile against the magnitude of the Northern Ocean. However, their thick waterproof plumage and compact body are perfectly adapted to survive in these icy seas. Their colorful beaks with orange, yellow, and red stripes signal maturity and health, shining intensely in the cold light of the north. When the moment comes, a puffin launches itself from the cliff, falling toward the ocean before its wings catch the wind and carry it out to sea. Unlike most seabirds, puffins hunt beneath the surface. Folding their wings, they dive into the frozen waters and transform into agile underwater swimmers. Their wings beat like oars, propelling them to depths of more than 60 meters. Here, in the stillness of the deep blue, they pursue the same herring that feed whales, sea lions, and eagles. Their specialized beaks have backward-pointing spines and a flexible joint, allowing them to hold several fish at once. A single puffin can carry more than 10 fish across its beak, all destined for the waiting chick. For the puffin, the short Arctic summer is a race against time. Each pair only raises a single chick, hidden safely in a burrow dug into the earth or protected among the rocks. Both parents make repeated trips, sometimes flying more than 50 kilometers in a day to find enough fish. After about 6 weeks, the chick emerges and, under the cover of darkness, makes its first trip to sea. It may not touch dry land again for several years. A puffin can live for more than 20 years, surviving countless migrations between the cliff and the ocean. But its future is linked to the fate of the fish. As the ocean temperature rises and currents change, herring and other small fish move further away or decrease in number. In some regions, puffin colonies have suffered drastic declines. However, as the northern sun slowly sets on the horizon, a puffin returns from the high seas, its beak loaded with silvery fish. Facing the magnitude of the Arctic Ocean, this small hunter continues an ancestral cycle, bringing the sea's energy back to the cliff, maintaining life at the ends of the world. With industrial fishing techniques, it is too easy to overexploit these reproductive resources. This is one of the few places where the fishery still survives. Pacific herring populations have been drastically reduced. Only a fraction of what they used to be remains. This sad story of unsustainable fishing has been repeated over and over again around the world. Many of the world's fish stocks are now in critical decline. A third of them have collapsed. In coastal waters, jellyfish are occupying the waters that were once dominated by fish. The compass jellyfish possesses an ethereal beauty, but it provides very little sustenance for other wild animals or for us. These giant jellyfish swarms are becoming increasingly common, a worrying sign of a serious imbalance in our shallow seas. Unless we begin to... But the future does not have to be like this. On the Pacific coast of South America, we can see how the oceans can recover. Atacama, the driest desert in the world. Inland, it can barely sustain life, and yet the coast is completely different. For centuries, seabirds have gathered by the millions on these desert coasts. But 50 years ago, the large colonies disappeared because we overfished the local waters. Controls were introduced, and now the fish populations are recovering. That is why today, 3 million guanay cormorants gather each year to raise their chicks. Each morning, the birds head to the sea. The colonies are so vast that it takes more than an hour for all the birds to take flight. Joining this armada are the Inca terns and the Peruvian booby. A great caravan of hunters, all seeking the same thing, the anchovy. These small fish are so abundant that they support the largest fishery on our planet. Astonishingly, they can represent 1/10 of the total fish we extract from the oceans each year. Sea lions are the first to find the school of fish. When the fish are pushed to the surface, they are within reach of the pelicans. The cormorants dive to claim their share. The boobies dive from a height of 20 meters. They hit the water at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Today, the lives of 5 million cormorants and boobies depend on these immense schools of anchovies. However, if we allowed the anchovy to recover completely, it could feed 25 million seabirds as it did before. It is a vivid reminder of the amazing richness that our coastal waters can sustain, and that, when given the opportunity, they can recover with surprising speed. The islands of Raja Ampat in Southeast Asia. These seas were once plundered of sharks and other large fish due to years of unregulated fishing. This lagoon was once occupied by a shark hunting camp. Today, it is a nursery for shark pups. The waters around Mosul have been fully protected since 2007, and the recovery is miraculous. Today, there are 25 times more sharks than a decade ago. Turtles that were once hunted now graze peacefully in the seagrass meadows. Sharks are returning to the local reefs, helping to restore a balanced community. This gives them better resilience to the effects of coral bleaching. Oceanic manta rays, a wingspan of 7 meters from tip to tip of their wings. These endangered giants spend most of their lives wandering the open ocean, but now they are returning to this reserve to be tended by the cleaner wrasses. Mosul is one of the few places on Earth where biodiversity is actually increasing. Since it was protected, the amount of fish has tripled compared to just 10 years ago. Fishermen working in neighboring waters benefit from the excess of fish that leaves the reserve. Now they catch more fish with less effort. We have very few marine reserves, and in many of them, commercial fishing is still allowed. We need to turn 1/3 of all coastal seas into properly protected areas. If we do, our planet's fishing grounds will recover and help sustain both humanity and the rest of the natural world. The dawn light filters through the warm, shallow waters of the Indo-Pacific, where seagrass meadows stretch like infinite fields beneath the ocean surface. In this vast blue world, a large silhouette appears, floating forward with a leisurely grace. It is the green sea turtle, a species that has existed for more than 100 million years, long before human beings appeared. Its oval shell measures between 80 and 120 centimeters, sometimes reaching 1.5 meters, and can weigh more than 180 kilograms, making it one of the largest marine reptiles in existence. The shell is made up of closely joined bony scutes, with olive, brown, and yellow tones that reflect the changing light with each passing wave. Its powerful front flippers, nearly 1 meter long, move slowly like wings, allowing it to travel thousands of kilometers while conserving energy. Its slow and steady heart rate is perfect for a long life crossing oceans. Lowering its head, the turtle grazes the seabed with its mouth hardened like a beak. An adult can consume more than 2 kilos of grass a day. This grazing keeps the meadow healthy, encouraging new growth and preventing decomposition. These underwater fields shelter juvenile fish, crustaceans, and mollusks, as well as absorbing large amounts of carbon dioxide. Through this simple act, the green sea turtle helps maintain the balance of the coastal ecosystem. At birth, they are stalked by fish, seabirds and sharks. But upon reaching maturity, their size and armored shell mean they have very few natural enemies. Green turtles can live for more than 60 or 80 years and can take between 20 and 35 years to start reproducing. Throughout their lives, they migrate thousands of kilometers between feeding areas and nesting beaches. Some have traveled more than 2,500 kilometers to return to exactly the same beach where they were born. Under the cover of darkness, a female crawls across the sand and digs a nest half a meter deep. She deposits between 80 and 120 eggs. When finished, she covers the nest and returns to the sea. 2 months later, the neonates of barely 5 centimeters emerge and run hurriedly toward the ocean. Only about 1 in 1,000 will manage to survive. Today, the green sea turtle faces growing threats from fishing nets, plastic pollution, and coastal development. Many populations have declined severely in the last century. However, in marine reserves, they are gradually returning. When a turtle glides over the seagrass meadow under the sparkling light, it carries with it the memory of ancient oceans. Its survival is testimony that when the sea is protected, even the most ancestral travelers can continue their journey through time. Have you ever wondered what species might have intelligently dominated our planet's oceans if humans did not exist? As the sunlight fades and long shadows stretch across the reef, a form lies almost invisible among the coral branches. Only when it moves is the truth revealed: an octopus. With no bones or protective shell, its soft body can compress and change shape to pass through cracks no larger than its own eye. Its skin contains millions of pigment cells and reflective structures, allowing it to change not only color but also texture. It becomes almost indistinguishable from rock, sand, or coral. No other animal on Earth can alter its appearance so quickly and precisely. The octopus possesses a nervous system like no other. Its brain contains about 500 million neurons, equivalent to those of a small dog, but more than 2/3 of them are located in its tentacles. Each arm can feel, decide, and react almost independently, as if the animal had several minds working at the same time. Experiments have shown that octopuses can solve puzzles, open jars for food, learn by observation, and remember solutions for months. Some individuals even use shells or stones as tools to build shelters, an extremely rare behavior in invertebrates. This represents a form of intelligence that evolved entirely independently of that of vertebrates, developing in the stillness of the ocean for more than 500 million years. When hunting, the octopus combines its intelligence with perfect camouflage. It approaches its prey with absolute patience. A small crab moves across the sand, unaware it is being watched. In a movement faster than a blink, the 8 tentacles open and surround it. Powerful suckers hold the prey firmly while its mouth, hard as a parrot's beak, pierces the crab's shell. If it feels threatened, the octopus releases a cloud of black ink to confuse the predator and then disappears into a narrow crack. It does not rely on speed or strength, but on memory, learning ability, and constant adaptation to survive. However, the octopus's greatest paradox is its longevity. Despite its superior intelligence, most species only live for 1 to 2 years. In that short time, they grow at an astonishing speed, learn, hunt, and reproduce. A female can lay from 50,000 to more than 200,000 eggs. She hangs them in clusters inside a protected cave and guards them for weeks without eating. When the young finally hatch, the mother has completed the final act of her life and dies shortly after. A complex intelligence that appears and disappears in an instant compared to the billions of years of oceanic history. Some scientists have raised provocative ideas. If octopuses lived longer, could they have developed even more complex intelligence or social behaviors? If consciousness could evolve along such a different path, how many other forms of intelligence might exist that we have not yet recognized? In the waning light of the reef, the octopus blends into the rock and disappears. What do you think about the unique intelligence of this extraordinary animal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Among the vibrant coral branches of the tropical Indo-Pacific, the soft tentacles of an anemone sway slightly with the current, like a flower blooming beneath the ocean. These tentacles contain thousands of microscopic stinging cells, powerful enough to paralyze most small fish. However, in this forest full of dangers, a small bright orange fish with sharp white stripes appears, disappearing again into its deadly refuge. It is the clownfish. With a length of only 8 to 11 centimeters, a compressed body and rounded fins, it is one of the reef's most familiar inhabitants. Its striking colors are not for camouflage, but a sign that it lives in a fortress where few predators dare to enter. The clownfish and the anemone share a sophisticated symbiotic relationship refined over millions of years of evolution. The clownfish's skin is covered by a special layer of mucus that prevents the anemone's stinging cells from firing. This allows it to live safely among the tentacles without suffering harm. In return, the clownfish protects the anemone from its predators and removes waste. Its constant movement also improves water circulation, providing oxygen to the host. It is not simply a shelter, but a true home, from which the clownfish rarely strays more than a few meters in its entire life. Each anemone is usually the home of a small group of clownfish organized under a strict social order. The largest individual is the dominant female, the second largest is the breeding male, and the smallest are juveniles. An amazing feature distinguishes the clownfish from most other fish. They are all born male. If the dominant female dies, the breeding male transforms into a female in a matter of weeks, and one of the smaller fish grows to take its place. This adaptation ensures that reproduction can continue even in the unpredictable environment of the reef. The female lays from a few hundred to more than 1,000 eggs on a rocky surface near the anemone. The male stays to guard them and fanning the water over the eggs to supply them with oxygen for 6 to 10 days until they hatch. The tiny larvae then drift with the current, and only a small fraction finds a new anemone and survives to maturity. In the wild, the clownfish can live 6 to 10 years, and even longer in protected environments. The clownfish plays a crucial role in maintaining the health of the anemone, and through it, the stability of the reef itself. However, climate change and coral bleaching threaten both the anemones and their small companions. When ocean temperature increases, the symbiotic organisms within the anemones decrease, weakening or killing them. At the same time, capture for the aquarium trade has reduced clownfish populations in some regions. However, under the sparkling light of the reef, a small clownfish still ventures out of its refuge, only to quickly return to the safety of the undulating tentacles. Its survival is testimony that even the smallest beings can be resilient if they find the right place to call home. In the crystal clear waters of tropical coastal areas where sunlight reaches the seabed, a school of small fish moves in ever-changing patterns. They reflect the light like a living mirror. Everything seems peaceful, but at the edge of the school, a silvery, elongated form appears, almost motionless. It is a barracuda. With its streamlined, arrow-shaped body, which reaches more than 1.5 meters in length, and its rows of exposed sharp teeth, it is perfectly built for speed and precision. Its reflective scales mirror the surrounding light, allowing it to blend almost completely into the environment. The barracuda does not hunt through endurance, but with patience and explosive power. The barracuda remains suspended in the water, with its large eyes following every tiny movement. Pressure-sensitive organs along its body detect even the faintest vibrations. When the moment comes, it strikes at speeds exceeding 40 kilometers per hour. In less than a second, the distance is negated. Its razor-sharp, curved teeth close tightly, and the prey disappears. The attack is so fast that the other fish only react when it is all over. Adult barracudas are usually solitary and patrol reefs, seagrass meadows, and coastal areas where young fish congregate. Juveniles sometimes form groups for defense, but as they grow, their size and speed turn them into independent hunters. A barracuda can live 10 to 15 years, becoming one of the most effective predators of the coastal ecosystem. By eliminating weak or injured fish, they help maintain balance in fish populations. During the breeding season, barracudas gather far from the coast. The female releases tens of thousands of eggs into open waters, leaving them at the mercy of the currents. There is no parental care. Most of the eggs will be eaten, but a few will survive and return to coastal waters, continuing the ancestral cycle of predator and prey. However, pollution, reef degradation, and overfishing are reducing its habitat and food sources. Despite this, under the changing light of coastal waters, a barracuda remains suspended, motionless as a silvery ghost. It does not need to hurry. In an ocean where everything must move to survive, sometimes the most dangerous hunter is the one who barely moves. Along the coastlines where waves break relentlessly, the sky and the ocean meet at an ever-moving boundary. High above, a large bird with a wingspan exceeding 2 meters glides smoothly. It is the pelican. Weighing up to 10 kilograms and with a long beak that ends in a highly elastic gular pouch, it is one of the most efficient hunters of the coastal seas. From the heights, its sharp eyes detect fish beneath the surface despite reflections and changing waves. It lets itself be carried by invisible air currents, saving energy while it watches patiently. Then the moment comes. Its wings fold. Its body plunges like a living spear, reaching speeds of more than 60 kilometers per hour. Just before impact, its head aligns perfectly and pierces the water surface. The gular pouch expands like a net, catching both the water and the prey. Upon emerging, it tilts its head so that the water drains, keeping the fish inside. A precise dive can provide enough energy for several hours of flight. Coastal fish, already stalked from below, now also must watch the sky above. Pelicans usually hunt in groups, cooperating to corner fish in shallow water where escape is almost impossible. This cooperation increases the success rate, especially during the breeding season when energy demand is at its peak. On coastal cliffs and remote islands, hundreds of pairs of pelicans gather to nest. The female lays 1 to 3 eggs, and both parents take turns incubating them for about a month. After hatching, the chicks are entirely dependent on their parents, being fed with partially digested fish. Only the strongest live long enough to fly, usually after 10 to 12 weeks. A pelican can live more than 20 years, performing thousands of dives throughout its life. Pelicans help regulate coastal fish populations and act as indicators of ocean health. When fish are abundant, their colonies thrive. When fish decrease due to overfishing or environmental changes, their numbers also fall. In the past, pollution and pesticides caused massive population collapses, but protection has allowed their recovery in some regions. As the sun sets and the golden light spreads across the sea, a pelican folds its wings and dives. A precise movement, repeated countless times, shaped by millions of years of evolution, where the sky and the ocean meet in perfect balance.